Hey guys, welcome back to Scottsdale Living. So get ready for the ride because this is going to be a really interesting conversation. We're going to chat with Nick and Sully. We got some crazy background, man, from the Navy SEALs and Buds to fighting MMA and ASU to pickleball. So we're gonna follow that whole path along. But you guys own and run Pickleball Plug, which is like a new mobile pickleball service, right?
Yep.
You come put the courts out there and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're Arizona's first and only mobile pickleball court rental service. So we can come anywhere, set our courts up over basically any surface, grass, asphalt, concrete, whatever, host a pickleball event, and completely hassle-free to the customer.
Totally.
We like to say, at the base of it, we're a court rental company.
Yeah.
But we go pretty far beyond that. We can, do tournaments. We have tournament software
Sure.
through Point Pickleball as a leader in pickleball tournament software. We can provide referees, coaches for clinics, kind of anything you may need.
Sure. So let's jump background a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So Nick, you, since 8 years old, man, you wanted to be in the Navy. You wanted to be a SEAL, right?
That's right.
And your dad was in the Navy 30 some years. I'm assuming retired Navy guy.
31 years retired Navy, orthopedic surgeon, several trips out of the country to
Sure.
do our service. And yeah, ever since I was 8 years old, I remember one day he brought home a G.I. Joe and he called it the Little Navy SEAL, which
Yeah.
at that time meant nothing to me. But as the years went on, all I told people was like, what do you want to do when you grow
Sure.
up? Oh, I want to be a doctor. I just Navy SEAL. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah. So your story, I mean, it sets you up headed to where you want to be, right? And it takes kind of a really bad turn, but then now you're back at it, man. So, I mean, first of all, thanks for the service that you put in and the time. And tell us a little bit how that progressed, man, because it sucks what happened, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it really does. I'm not going to say that I got scammed or anything because I knew the rules and I broke them.
Right.
But leading up to the Navy, I was ran track and cross country at University of Tennessee. At some point, I realized, all right, this is cross country runners aren't exactly big enough to do.
Sure.
And so I got out. I started doing some boxing, and I got on the triathlon team, kind of work on my swimming as well as the running. By the time I went to the Navy, I was the most well-rounded, in-shape athlete in my mind I could imagine.
Sure.
And it served me well because when I got there, I just cleaned house.
Yeah.
Not bragging. I can't. There's nothing bragging to it because I'm not a Navy SEAL.
Right. Yeah.
but there, when I was there, I did very well.
Sure.
I had just skyrocketing peer revals every week. They have peer revals and they paste them for everyone to see.
Sure.
Which could be good or bad.
Yeah.
You can be the top 5, and if you're in the bottom 5, you're going to get a lot of extra attention.
Yeah. Right.
Which the name of the game there is be the gray man, don't be noticeable. Well, I was in the top 5 week after week after week.
Right.
And things were going swimmingly, no pun intended, little intended. But the week before we were finishing up, we were out on San Clemente Island. I remember the day we were doing Claymores. And just like out of a TV show, there's 4 guys in suits come up over a hill. I'm laying in the prone position, and they pluck about 7 or 8 of us out of the training evolution, and they fly us back to Coronado and sit us down in different interrogation rooms for about 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
Do some questioning, do some sitting and wondering, and then they fly us back out to San Clemente. And all of us are thinking, all right, we're good.
Sure.
Well, then a few days later, the same guys came out and plucked a couple of us back out and flew us back to Coronado and tried us. And that's where things really started to go south. Because of my reputation as being very solid.
Sure.
And then at the same time, we had a CEO who just come to be the Buds commanding officer. There's a lot of speculation that he wanted to put a feather in his cap, make a big splash when he got there. Well, you got this guy who's consistently in the top 5. Let's do a public open captain's mast. And that took place on the first phase grinder, which if anybody doesn't know about that, it's a sacred plot within the Buds compound in Coronado. It's where first day of Buds happens. It's where Hell Week breaks out. They have weddings, they have funerals. It's just sacred.
Sure.
You should explain what they caught you doing.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty relevant part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we were talking about it. Yeah. So I was on PEDs. I was taking testosterone. I was taking, relatively low dosage for what people normally associate it with bodybuilding. I was taking about 1/7 or 1/8 of a dosage that a bodybuilder would take. I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
By far, it's very prevalent in the community. But that doesn't mean I'm any less right or wrong
Sure.
And so I paid the man for it, and they had my opens captain's mask on that first phase grinder, and they stuffed it full of Navy SEALs, Bud students, spec students, all personnel there that is just part of that spec war community. And I was there by myself, and I listened to this guy tell me how I'm a disgrace to the Navy, how he would never let someone like me in his ranks, and just a bunch of like really nice stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that was my exit from the Navy, and that's when a really dark hour of my life kind of began. Sure. And I fell on the bottle, and it took me 11 years to get out of it. So that 11 years was kind of a blur. 809 days out of it now. The alcohol.
Congratulations, by the way. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
we're really, as his friends and his family, like his wife, we're all really proud of him. And just like he's one of those guys that just like I've never worried about him relapsing because he's so committed. He's so committed
to the life. Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean I
love the story, man. That's what's great.
Yeah.
Overcoming adversity for sure.
Yeah. I met Nick at the very tail end of the drinking.
Okay.
So I caught the very end of the pure chaos.
Sure.
And then saw him like hit that transition and saw the person that he became for his family, for his friends.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Totally. And it's just like he has he's an incredibly smart guy. He's a little chaotic, but that makes him very creative.
Sure.
And he's got so much potential that is like largely untapped because of that decade-long stint of alcoholism.
Right.
And just now we're getting to see that potential come to life, I feel like.
And what's kind of crazy, right, is like his business partners. So you've got that chaos and the artistic and all the thoughts and everything going. But then what you do for a living, so like you're a fighter, right? I mean, you're an MMA guy, and that's super technical, right? I mean,
it is.
That's 5 steps ahead, thinking, planning the whole deal at all times, right? So that's a total mix then, right?
We're good compliment to each other. Sure. I'm ruthlessly pragmatic, probably really cynical more than anything. Frame it in a more negative light.
Yeah.
And Nick's very idealistic, and we kind of balance each other out.
Yeah,
100%. Which makes us perfect.
Starting out, we knew that too.
Yeah.
He was like, Nick, you're going to be the chaos, and I'm going to let it. I'm
going
to let it go and see where it's going, see what it brings back, but I'm going to keep a leash on it, and I'm going to rein it in when it needs
change his direction.
Yeah, little push.
And he could not have been more right, especially because right now I'm working still, and I'm not the most organized with my thoughts or anything. And so when I get off work, I go straight to his house, and he has a list of directives like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I only have so much time.
You're a small business owner,
it's focus, man.
The startup is a lot. There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot to balance, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of stress. It's everything. Right? It's exciting. It's stressful. It's like, damn, how we do. But so let's touch on this because I find it great, man. It's like if you're sitting in the audience and you're watching this podcast, the last thing you're going to pick that you two are going to do is mobile pickleball courts, man. So, where did that one come from?
Well, we enjoy pickleball in the most casual way. Like we don't play competitively. We just I learned the game over at a friend's house, never heard of it before.
Sure.
Played it a couple times and I was like, this is awesome. It's a great way for people to get together. It's just like golf in the sense that you can play with somebody and have a conversation with them, which I think
is not necessarily 8 hours.
Which I think is a big part of the magic. Right. And then it's just like anybody can play it, and you can play with a couple people at a radically different level of athleticism and still have a really good time together.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So it's a great way to bring people together, and we really enjoy it. And then we started. Should backtrack a little bit. So as you said, I'm a fighter. Live, eat, sleep, and breathe fighting. I'm a top 10 ranked fighter in a major promotion in Bellator. And I 3.5 months ago had ACL surgery.
Oh man,
which is just a
training accident or
a training. Yeah, it's training wrestling with my good friend Ryan Bader, a legendary Arizona guy.
Sure.
Tore my ACL, and even with modern medicine, stem cells, everything, it's a year out of competition. Which is just brutal.
Sure.
So I spent a couple months feeling sorry for myself, doing physical therapy and moping around. And then I was just like, you know what? You could look at this, if you could get out of your own way, you could look at this as being a gift, having this little bit of free time, having a year to to let's see if we can do something else. So, we decided I was going to start a business. I decided Nick was the guy to do it with me because he has the drive, the smarts, the untapped potential.
Love it, dude.
And we started
going on over there now.
Well, he also calls me impressionable. So, in his head, I know he's not saying it, but he's like, I can just go tell him we're starting a business, and he'll say it. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I could argue with that.
But yeah, we were toying with ideas. We like pickleball, like I said.
Yeah.
We were like, what if somebody did mobile pickleball courts? And we started looking in to see if the technology was there. And we found out, like, oh yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
We found these modular tile pickleball courts that were designed specifically for pickleball. So they're not like the sport court sports from like 10 years ago that have all the dead spots and get real slippery and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, these are designed for pickleball.
Oh yeah.
They bounce. We have a video on our Instagram. They bounce like 99 point something% as high as a permanent concrete court.
Wow, that's cool.
Whereas 5 years ago, the court you would have had to settle with was somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's not even.
It's a whole different game.
They had to create a whole new ball just to play on those surfaces because it did.
Yeah, on our courts, use real outdoor pickleball. They play fantastically well, and we looked into it, searched high and low, and nobody's doing it.
Yeah,
we're the first people to be doing this in the Western United States,
which is crazy, right? Because pickleball is friggin' everywhere, man. It's insane.
I bet everybody watching is aware to some degree just how popular pickleball is, and the fact that nobody's satisfied this niche yet.
Yeah,
just told us like it's go time.
It's like we stepped in this sector and we're like, where's all the
where's the people?
Where's the competition?
Yeah, totally.
And it was like, well, if they're not here yet, they're coming.
They're coming.
And so it's like we gotta get going. And
so that's a great question, like start to finish. Like you guys are sitting around having a cup of coffee, breakfast, hanging out, whatever. It's like, hey man, we're gonna do mobile pickleball courts. From there to today, I mean, how long has it been?
3 weeks. That's almost not an exaggeration.
4 weeks.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
that's crazy. So this
dude,
is right
like I said, all I'm doing is physical therapy right now. Other than that, I got time. So I've been doing 10-hour days, getting a website ready, doing all the paperwork with the state, starting marketing, sales. So we've done the amount that we've gotten done in the last since this idea came to us is, I think, pretty impressive.
It's insane.
And I don't know.
It's legit. 4 weeks.
But that's we kind of wanted to get into that too, because that's the kind of guys we are. You know what I mean? We're not sit around and wait for something to happen type guys.
Right.
We're like grab the bull by the horns type guys.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. I love
it. And that's part of that. That's in the vein of like we have enough cerebral disposition that's alike to get us on that same path, but enough polar opposites of how we operate to make it. Oh, we have some depth.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. So what was it like doing the first one? I mean, like bringing the court out the first time, going at it. I mean, was it tough? Was it easy?
So we actually don't have our first actual pickleball plug sanctioned event isn't going to be until the end of September.
Oh, okay. So we're in the pregame.
We're in the pregame.
Gotcha.
So we've done the course setup and stuff, and just as like practice, and we've done some like private events to feel it out and to film content and stuff, and it's gone really well.
Yep.
The setup is kind of a breeze. We can set up or take down within an hour.
Yeah,
up to like 4 courts.
Yeah. So Archie Bradley, he's a local name for the D-backs.
Played for the Diamondbacks.
He has a court. He has one of these modular tile courts that's a blend of hard resin polymers. Sure. And so we have been playing on his court and shot our promo video on there, and it's the same. It's the same quality, same metrics and everything. Sure. And that was kind of a big component of our proof of concept.
Right.
So now our courts are coming with our company colors on them. We're going to have our logos on them. It's going to be
It's actually perfect timing though, right? Because it's 115 degrees outside.
That's the only reason why we're not trying to book events for right now. Is because it's going to be difficult to sell to people in the 115 degree heat.
Yeah, totally.
So we have our first events booked at the end of September, and then more booked in October and November. Yeah. We have slots open that we're looking to fill right now.
Dude, I love it. That's crazy. So what as small business owners, right? What do you think of just social media? Let's throw that out there, right? Because it's like a driver for everything, dude.
Yeah, and it's not my natural forte.
Both of us are like. I mean, I can see that it has so much value.
TikTok experts now.
Is Vine still relevant? I don't know. I don't know. What we need is a couple high school girls that live on social media that can just tap into our brains and but we don't know, and that's why we're kind of leaning on anybody that is, and it's been a plethora of people that are willing to help out. because
Yeah.
we know that social media is a huge tool for folks like us, but we also know there's a lot that goes behind the post.
And that's not to say
Yeah.
that we're not on social media. We have built pages. They're growing. But the vast majority of the business we've gotten so far has been through our connections. Because we're local guys. Like, we're in this community. We know a lot of the right people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, so before we even actually tried to put the word out, we had people contacting us. Like,
Oh, that's killer, man.
I want to have an event. What's the deal? How does it work? So like, the demand is actually pretty insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the corporate standpoint, most corporate events are pretty freaking boring, right? I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have a picnic, they're going to hang out, have some beers or coffee or whatever, go to Top Golf.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're here to
That's our big selling point, because our primary focus is corporate events, because it just seems to be who wants us the most.
Sure.
It makes the most sense. And our big selling point is like, you know, we know you're going to come to Phoenix for your corporate event because the weather is good.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to do the same cocktail party you do every year?
Right.
Or do you want to switch it up a little bit?
Yeah. Throw
Like,
something
get
else into
people
it.
involved. And like, everybody knows how engaging pickleball is. You know, Toby from HR can play with like your young intern. You know what I mean? Like,
if we let them in. but everyone feels like they're Andre Agassi out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how slow or how many legs you have. If you got a pickleball paddle and you're playing, like every hit feels like you're good.
Totally. Yeah.
It's you're not.
Right.
Not everyone's Andre Agassi. I mean, I am, but it makes everyone feel like they're
Sure.
and especially for folks like me, like I'm 38 next month.
Yeah.
I was a collegiate athlete, and I like to go out to whatever sport I'm about to play, and I like to feel like I'm still a 25-year-old that's just like mopping the floor up with guys like Sully.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore, but pickleball makes me feel like it.
Sure.
So it's I'm subscribed and I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah. And that's a killer aspect, right? Because they don't have to get there and necessarily get all sweaty and nasty and hot and everything else. They can hang out and just enjoy it. And you guys set it up, tear it down, pick it up, take it away.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah, we like our three tenets of our service are convenience, quality, and engagement. So on the convenience end, like obviously the nature of it, we can take the courts, set them up anywhere.
Yeah.
We can do it quickly,
completely
hassle-free for the customers. Tell us where you want it. We'll come measure, make sure they're going to fit, figure out how they're going to be arranged, set them up. No problem. We supply nets, balls, paddles. Not everybody on the corporate event is going to bring their own pickleballs.
Scoreboards. We have the option.
Scoreboard.
Stage structures, light towers.
Referees, like I said, tournament software through Point Pickleball. So we can anything pickleball involved with your event, you don't have to worry about. We can do it. Convenience. Quality. We use the best modular tile courts in the business. They're not cheap, but they're worth it.
Sure.
And then all of our equipment's brand new. As soon as balls, paddles, nets, courts, as soon as anything gets aged or worn, it's out of the rotation. You can guarantee anything we bring is going to look good, is going to play good.
Yeah.
And in terms of engagement, pickleball is designed for engagement.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about pickleball. You can sit across the court and talk to somebody. Everybody loves to play it. And beyond that, we work with companies to promote the events if they need to be promoted.
Sure.
To be at the events and make sure the courts are being rotated through. Everybody's getting a turn. Everybody's having fun. We don't ever want to have an event where the courts are sitting there and nobody's using them.
Dude,
We're gonna break our backs to make sure people.
I would go grab a homeless person, put a paddle on his hand, and play.
And we're going to do it.
That is.
I love it.
If without engagement, we got nothing.
Yeah.
We can almost lead with that. Like
Right.
we're leading with, hey, we bring the court to. The thing is, we're trying to facilitate engagement.
Yeah.
We're trying to elevate
Team building, interaction, the whole thing, dude.
It's spirited competition without all the fight.
Yeah.
And, you're getting some people, but I mean, you're getting just like the perfect balance of activity and competition and team building. It's what pickleball's for. We're not going out there.
That's exactly right.
So
is this the first business you guys have ever done together? Like, not just together, but in general.
Yep.
Have you had business?
I've had 3 that I've tried to start. And this is what I tell people, like my folks, like anyone in my family who's skeptical of, whenever I try a new idea.
Sure.
Because they know me. I've tried 3 before I sobered up. One was called Rude Koozie, one was called Crossbones and Beards, and one was called Atlas Kegworks. None of them really saw much traction except for Crossbones and Beards, which I was put in GQ magazine for my branding.
Oh, that's cool.
I was in 17 different barbershops in Houston. I was drinking all of it
Yeah.
under the ground. And it saw so much traction and so much momentum, but I had nothing to show for it because I didn't have a Sully there for me. I didn't. And like all this stuff that Sully's making us do, registering an LLC, getting the bank accounts.
It's real. It's real. Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're going to do that? I just thought, when I was doing cross and beards, I was like, I got a cool product. Actually, nobody even really checked out the beard roll. They just liked the branding and the shirt. I sold more shirts. And I was like, hey, cool product, and I can sell this stuff at bars. I'll be all right. And I never even had any money because I was drinking it all the time.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where even the Houston Astros that is the time when Keuchel was pitching for him. And for $25,000, we're going to give you the opportunity and give you a whole corner section of the stadium as Keuchel's Crossbones and Beards section.
Oh, wow.
$25,000, that's not a big price tag for that. I mean, that would have changed my life. I would have never met Sully. I would have never met my wife. I would have never sobered up probably. But it would have changed my life. Right. Because they were going to have, but I didn't have $25,000, and anybody that knew me or smelled my breath wasn't going to give me $25,000.
Sure.
So I just moved on from it and went down the road.
So you get Pickleball and Plug, and like probably, the number one biggest thing for small business owners, right, is money.
Yeah.
So you guys you're bootstrapping it, you got family involved, or is it,
a little both. Yeah. We're, I mean, we got some resources together, not an insignificant amount, out of our own pockets, and then a little help from family, and we're off and running.
Yeah. It's killer. Yeah. So do the whole business model and the whole thing, business plan, LLC.
Yeah. Wrote like a 9-page business plan in my kitchen. Yeah.
So any small business owner out there, unless you're a competition, Chat GPT.
Oh, it's crazy.
Holy cow. We just got it this weekend. Yeah. If we had it at the beginning, we'd be even further along.
Yeah. I wrote a 9-page business plan without any AI.
Yeah.
I was I could have just done
this. We were out when we were in high school and college.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't, because I actually learned how to write an essay and like research. You know what I mean?
I learned how to write scathing emails because I had to do it, right? without that hate.
Not ChatGPT tear it up in a professional manner, right?
Yeah. For something like market analysis, my brain is more into like squiggles and colors than it is for that sort of thing.
Right.
I'd have to sit down there and really rack my brain to wrap myself around that, and then actually put out something that makes sense. Yeah. With Chat GPT, not only was I able to finish a lot of these graphs and charts quicker, but I understand it now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
plus you can actually finish stuff. That's the cool thing about it, right? It lets you actually wrap stuff up rather than it just hanging out there,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's best for, really. It's not like blank slate, like, hey, do this. Yeah. It's best for like,
I got this, make it polished. You know what I mean?
Make what I wrote a little better. Give me 3 ways it's better. And then you pick the one you like the most. Totally. And then you do it again. You know what I mean? You got to know how to use it.
Yeah. Got to prompt it and whatever.
Yeah.
So when you get back into the fight game, I mean, how's that going to look? You're going to be, hopefully you're rocking and rolling. You got staff and everything at that point. But I mean, I'm sure you want to get back in the cage and go back in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't wait to get back in the cage.
Yeah.
It's been really hard for me. But yeah, I'm, like I said, I have the time. I'm pulling the long hours now. When I go back to fighting, we're just going to have to divide the workload a little bit differently.
Sure.
Even in the hardest training cycle, I still have time to sit behind a laptop and make some calls and send emails, of course. But I mean, when I'm back and committed to fighting, Nick's going to have to be the one humping the courts and pulling a lot of the weight.
Sure. Which is fine, because I'm at the foundry 40, 50 hours a week now, and guess who's pulling the load? So,
totally.
And also that for Sully, stop me if I'm talking for you, but I've heard him say a couple times. So this is just a supplement to his vision quest that he's fighting. This is gonna free up some of his mental space that is occupied by the money aspect of fighting.
Yeah.
If you just take that away from it,
if I made $100 million off this business, which we won't. If I made $100 million off this business, I would still fight.
Yeah,
because I'm on a vision quest to be the best fighter in the world.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
tell us a little bit about that. So you come out of ASU and you're a wrestler at ASU, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what was the driving force? I mean, you're done with school and it's like, hey, I want to continue this. I want to get involved.
I knew before I went and wrestled AZ
Oh, did
that
you?
I wanted
Okay.
to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up watching MMA on TV.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, that's the coolest thing
Yeah, that's what I
a guy could ever do.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything cool.
Yeah.
I was like, so clearly that's what I'm doing.
So is it hard to get into?
Yeah.
Right? Start to make it.
No, all you gotta do is come walk in the door and start swinging.
Yeah, man, it's really tough. I mean,
Yeah.
college wrestling, first of all, is an absolute meat grinder.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who enjoyed college wrestling.
Totally.
And then getting out and transitioning into MMA is really hard because every wrestler has spent their whole life up to that point getting good at wrestling.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is go be the worst guy at another thing.
Yeah.
And go learn to box. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's really tough for guys.
Yeah.
So I just jumped right into that. Started taking amateur boxing fights, kickboxing fights, Muay Thai fights. I went to Thailand and trained and fought over there.
How cool is that?
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
the training.
I was making, as a fighter, making no money. I was an amateur.
Yeah.
So I was like a bar back. I worked for like a mobile like laser tag business. I was doing like,
What?
dude,
What?
I was just like,
That's our
I walked in like, hey, I'm here to do a laser tag party.
Okay, you're a soldier.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That is great, man.
Dude, and that was really hard. But I wanted to fight so bad, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm investing in my future. I'm investing in myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting a return for it now. And then I had my professional debut, and basically like one punched a guy,
Yeah.
and
Dude, that's
it was off to the
great, right?
races. Yeah,
That'd be
I was
pretty
so
good.
nervous to fight
Yeah.
the guy, and I went out there and was just like, boom, and he was like,
Was it harder than that dude in the parking lot? I'm just kidding.
Dude, yeah, that's a great journey, man. So it obviously going to continue in the pickleball thing. Hopefully rocks. But what do you
Yeah.
guys see happening with it? You know, a year down the line, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, you got plans to elevate
Yeah.
it or elevate it, take it other ways?
so we got 4 courts. And we're
2 dudes. That's a lot.
I know, yeah.
That could be a struggle.
That's
We
an
got
idea.
four
That's an
courts.
idea for all I guys.
Yeah.
4 courts, 2 dudes.
We're doing really well with booking events right now. I see like within 6 months having 4 more courts.
That's killer.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's killer.
Running that for a while, and we already offer just around court rental a lot of services. We're gonna expand those,
Sure.
and become just like a one-stop shop corporate event service.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So it expanded to
Yeah.
more than just a pickleball.
Yeah, and then we have a lot of connections in other towns. I'm from Reno. We have connections in Southern California, and just like testing the waters. There's a lot of interest there too.
Oh, I'm sure.
We have
man.
people that are like, dude, as soon as you franchise it, like,
Yeah.
give me a call. I'll be your first guy.
Yeah.
So that's on our radar as well.
Yeah,
You got
dude, what's
fun
crazy is like just a little comparison is like the bachelorette business. And this is going to sound crazy to you guys, right? But 10 years ago, what do bachelorettes do? No, nobody knows, right? They just all
Right.
get together and they go get hammered.
There's a whole industry.
Scottsdale.
There's a whole
And
industry.
now, dude, it's like it's a whole plant. You know,
Yeah.
there's companies that
Yeah.
they plan the whole friggin' thing out.
Oh, I didn't
I
know.
know.
You know, oh yeah, it's insane. It's like a $200 million business in Scottsdale. It's insane.
This is the second biggest destination behind
Nashville's
Nashville,
supposed- I
right?
think we're supposed to pass.
If you told me how many
Yeah.
people in this country make a living just off organizing stuff,
Yeah.
I would be daunted by that.
Says the guy who can't organize.
I'd be like, so you're the person who broke the rest of my life. They're like, no, we're going to give you a Sully. I'm like, oh.
But I mean, roll that concept over. I mean, into the corporate event kind of thing, dude. That's killer,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean,
Absolutely.
actually, corporate events is boring as hell. I mean, I was in the corporate world for a
Yeah.
while. I was like, oh, that's so.
And the whole
boring.
purpose of a corporate event is to entertain your employees.
yeah,
To reward them.
together. Yeah, the whole-
Or they-
Nerds planning it.
Yeah, or it's like if you're gonna have a hiring event and bring a bunch of college kids in and try
Yeah.
to get them interested in your company.
yeah.
Like
You're gonna have some 60-year-old dude just talking at
just
him.
talking at them, like an even more boring lecture than
Yeah.
what they get at school. Or do you
Yeah.
want to like put them on the pickleball course, have them have a good time?
Totally.
So
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
you can
doesn't-
definitely expand upon it. It's killer ideas. What about outside of the corporate? What else are you looking at? Or have you had any other stuff that you got to run by?
we've got some interest from private parties.
That's a killer idea.
Real estate agents looking to just bring people into a property they're trying to sell.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, we're doing September 27th and 28th. We're going to be at the city of Chandler Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Just
So-
before that, we're doing the suicide prevention.
Yeah, it's an organization called Life, LIFE, does suicide prevention and mental health oriented work for frontline healthcare workers.
Oh, that's really cool.
We got an event coming up with them. Yeah,
Dude, that's great. So when you're in Chandler, it's a Chandler Gilbert.
Chandler.
What I mean, is it going to be open play, or what are you doing, like a tournament style thing, or do you know yet?
We're gonna have there's some games you can do on pickleball courts that aren't pickleball.
Sure.
Might be a little easier for like little kids and stuff, like pickle pong.
Oh, yeah,
essentially like trash can size.
Yeah.
You play beer pong with a pickleball
Help
paddle.
move the flow.
Yeah.
'Cause, we don't want people taking up, staking down.
Yeah, sitting there for hours.
So we're calling it quickleball. Little games.
Yeah.
that kind of-
We're gonna bring a couple courts, so we're gonna have a court where you just move people through quick little games. Then we're gonna have a more competitive court,
Yeah.
where we're like, hey, you bring you and your buddy. You guys think you're good,
Run the table, man. Run the
and
table. Right?
you win, you stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
And then we're gonna have merch. We'll have incentives for people to come play, and
Yeah, and it's just for us, it's just a way to get the word out, show people the courts in practice. Because a lot of people what we've discovered is because, like we said, nobody's doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
People aren't aware, not only that we exist, but that what we do is even possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're,
Totally.
you know what I mean? They're like, you do what?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how? You know?
It's crazy. It's so popular that it's actually hard to play, right? I mean, it's as far as
court
man,
access
courts are
is
just
different.
freaking-
I was like, pickleball? No way. You don't know potato to play pickleball.
Oh, yeah. So as the sport's grown,
Yeah.
the number of courts was growing alongside, and then they just ran out of space for courts, and the popularity's continued to grow.
There's still some people holding on to tennis courts, and you drive by and
Oh.
there's nobody on the tennis
In
court.
2018, in the state of Arizona, there were 361 courts.
Yeah.
In 2019, there were 361 courts.
Wow.
In 2020, there were 361 courts. In 2021, there were north of 600.
Yeah.
By 2022, there were over 1,600.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
guess how many there were in 2023?
Oh, there's got to be 4,000 or 5,000, I would think.
Same number, 1,663.
It just
Because we ate up all the real estate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so then people start
plateaued, huh?
they can start converting the tennis courts.
And then these paid businesses like Chicken and Pickle or whatever have popped up to sort of try to fill that need.
So it's like, where are you going to go from there, Arizona?
Totally.
You've used up all the real estate you have. You're chewed up all the tennis courts. Well, it's here.
What if you could
enter stage right pickleball plug?
Yeah.
What if you could put a pickleball court somewhere where you're not willing to permanently pour concrete for a pickleball
apartment
court?
complexes be killer, right? I mean, established
Absolutely.
apartments that don't have,
It's on our radar.
they don't have it. They can't put it in. The space is all used up.
They just need to know.
Get Fruit Truck Friday and throw down a pickleball court, dude. It's
Yep.
killer.
Homeowners associations as well.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah, we've seen.
So, yeah.
My in-laws, like twice a year, they'll get 12 of those. The HOA of those huge inflatable slides.
Oh yeah, for
and like those are more expensive than a pickleball court.
crazy, man.
Yeah, like we said, corporate events have shown the most promise, but like we're really taking a shotgun approach.
Yeah.
We can set them up anywhere, so why not be willing to do anything? You know,
Totally.
if you've got space and you have the interest, like get in contact with us and we can talk about how we can help you bring people
Killer
in.
segue, dude.
You know,
Tell us how to get a hold of you and how to get in touch with you and all that stuff.
So best way to get a hold of us is go to our website, pickleballplugaz.com. Let's go. There's
It's
a
going to be WA and CA and all those other states, right?
yeah.
Go just hit get a quote. It'll just get you have you fill out a little bit of contact information, and then we can email you and talk.
And we are so hungry for this. Our ribs are showing. You will probably get a call back before you hit submit. It is not like, hey, within 24 hours, you're gonna have Nick and Sully. You guys ready?
We'll get to you right away. Like I said, we'll come out, we'll measure your place, we'll talk to you about how you want the courts arranged, and we'll help you throw an awesome pickleball event.
Love it. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. I was gonna say a fun little also segue of support we've gotten is from the dad joke guys on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
They've kind of been helping us out with our digital marketing and want to do a little collab.
They're great guys.
He's down here now, right?
Yeah,
They just moved to town.
Yeah.
And we've been showing them around, showing them the place, introducing them to people, and they're awesome guys.
Yeah.
And they co-developed an app called Point Pickleball.
Oh,
that
that's
is
cool.
the best tournament software in the sport of pickleball.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
we work with Point Pickleball to arrange tournaments. Yeah, the really high level app, really smart guys, movers and shakers,
and
entrepreneurs.
helpers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like all about, oh, you guys need some help with this. All right, let's get on a call. They're out of town and they're still like, all right, let's set up a little phone call
That's great guys.
meeting so we can go over this. And
Killer.
so that was pretty neat with our support system.
Well, rock on, man. That's Nick and Sully from Pickleball Plug. Reach out to them, pickleballplugaz.com, right?
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.